In this section, we're going to publish or create React app using the template, and I'll show you a few approaches. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a new app. Let's call it yarn create React app, and we're going to use the must-have libraries template. So once let's skip to when the installation is complete. Now that the installation is complete, let's open it in our favorite IDE. Next, let's create a D3 component. So go into the component folder. We have the README. I'll use the our template. So go into terminal, and we'll just create a rectangle component using our template. And whilst it's doing that, let's also install D3. So yarn add D3 and types D3. Next, we'll point to the component in our app. So open up source app.tsx, and let's remove everything inside the header and point it to the rectangle we just created. Let's import it, make sure it's imported. With IntelliJ, you have to wait until the IDE complete indexing, otherwise it's really slow and it won't recognize component or anything else. So it takes a few minutes to kind of index everything. Okay, so now that we have the rectangle added, let's just make sure that our build is good. Just type yarn start. Let's take a look in the browser. Alright, so we have our basic application ready. Now let's start deploying it. One way to go about it is to use Node and Express. So to do that, first we need to add is a development dependency express, and then we need to add a Node file that will use Express to deploy our app. Take a look. So I created for us a file called server.js, and we're going to put it on the root of our project. And the servers.js, if you open it up, you'll see it expects a port, and if you don't give it a port using the process environment, it's going to use port 9000. The other thing, it's using the public folder index as its default root, and it's going to give us a message once the app and the app or the server is being set up and being listened to, and it's going to give us a message. So to run this script, after of course Express is completed, we need to do one more step. Is we need to set our Node environment. And to set our Node environment, if you're on a Mac, you're just going to use export node env equal development. And if you're on a PC, you'll use set. So it depends on which environment you're on. And to run the server file, we'll just call node server.js. Since we're not specifying the port, you could see that it's generating it on port 9000. That's the default. Let's look at it in the browser. In the browser, you could see that I'm getting an error because there's no directory of build, because we haven't run the build script yet. To run the build script, we'll use the yarn build, which has the inside of our package.json, we have that build script that will do all of that. It's going to create the optimized production build. Okay, now the build is complete. we can run our node server again. And also if you look here, we have the build server, and we can see we have the static and we have the build. Refresh. Here we go. So we have our app ready to be deployed. And those scripts, you can put them on, for example, on Ubuntu or Windows server, and just install Node and Express, and then it's going to run and it's going to get deployed. Another option is that we can use the built-in Create React app that it's called Serve. So that's another option how we can build our deployment. Let's take a look. Let's get out of this option and let's stop whatever else we have going on. We have the localhost running. Okay, now if we want to publish the Create React app with Serve, a good way to do it is we just run the yarn build serve. Then if you open up package JSON and look in the, let's close everything out that we don't need. And if you look in the scripts, take a look. Okay, here's the script. We have the build. We just run the React script build. And then we also have serve build here, build serve, that what it does, it runs the yarn build in order to create this build folder and create a bundle and optimize it. And then it uses serve, it's a server to deploy using that build folder we're just creating. Once the build serve is complete, we're going to get a message where it's serving. So here's localhost 5000. And if you navigate to localhost 5000, we can see our app. Approaches are great, and we have the deployment build folder, and then we can use Express, we can use Serve, we can use anything we want to deploy it on any server.